Hey Faith Family, welcome to the Beyond Sunday podcast at Calvary Bible, where we go beyond the Sunday sermon to explore some rabbit holes and to bring some biblical truths to the surface. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Calvary Bible Church, welcome back. Pastor Randall, welcome back.
Welcome back to you.
Yeah, thank you.
From Senegal.
Senegal, Africa.
Feels like Senegal today.
It does.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yeah. Landon said it feels like Alabama.
Hey, that's close to Senegal.
Yeah. So I don't have a joke today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's nice. I'm glad
Sorry,
you were away.
Everybody else, my apologies. I should have a good Africa joke. Chris Heaston, one of our global outreach partners, he told me some good jokes, and I thought I would remember them, but I can't
Trips
right
are
now.
hard like that.
Two things about Africa.
Yeah.
One is the travel. We flew out now there's a 4-hour time difference, which you would think it's more, but Dakar is on the far west coast, like the point of continental Africa.
Yeah.
So 4-hour time difference, and which meant that we flew out, like we took off around 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I was in my house by 7 p.m. That was great. Direct flight. So if you ever want to go to Africa, honestly, this is a plug, and just connect with the Heastons, or you have a relationship with them, or someone from the team wants to go back, like it's not terribly hard. Direct flight.
Dakar to JFK.
Yep.
Wow. Who in the world? How many people? That's what I always think about. How many people are doing that to have a direct flight?
100 plus.
Plane.
The plane was full. Yeah, the plane was full.
That's craziness.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
Wow.
And we flew Delta. Yeah, I got 2 meals.
Nice.
2 meals.
Real ones.
I felt pretty good about that. I mean, they were not huge portions, but they're substantial enough to be like, okay, it's going to hold me over for a little bit.
Good for you.
Yeah. So that's number one. Number two, you should find this particularly interesting. It's a trivia. What is the closest point in America to Senegal?
Well, if it's not Massachusetts, what juts out there? It's got to be New England.
Yep.
Which one? Certainly not Eastern Maine.
Maine.
So
someone told me. Now, I didn't verify this. I don't know.
So that means Nova Scotia is probably even closer then.
Potentially.
Yeah.
They said to make a direct line from Dakar to the U.S. as the crow flies, Maine is your closest point.
Yeah, interesting.
Which is crazy because Senegal is significantly far south, so you would think Florida or something like that.
Yeah.
And you guys can make fun of me. I don't look at the globe. I just look at the flat map.
Yeah.
So I don't understand it all.
Yeah.
But
me neither.
Maine.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I was thinking more south of that a little bit. I forget what that little point that juts out in Massachusetts, I think, would have been a place I would have, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go.
What an experience to want to go.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm glad for you, man.
Great trip.
And the team. And that was a nice team. I mean, what a diverse group of people. And so.
Yep. And if you're here this upcoming Sunday and you're listening to this week, you'll hear the report. So we have a Senegal team report on Sunday.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
So
good.
Or we will be. But that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss old news. Actually, that's not.
2 days ago.
Right. It is always relevant.
Good news.
Always relevant.
It's old good news.
It is old. It's always
still good.
It's always good.
Yeah.
It's always relevant.
Yeah.
It's unchanging because it's God's word.
Yeah.
In an ever-changing culture.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you missed us, but
deeply.
Let's jump into John 1.
I was thinking I missed you.
Oh.
You were talking to that person.
No, I was talking to you.
Oh yeah, well I missed you. I didn't sleep well. I was worried.
So you'll find this funny. The Heastons feel like they know Miles pretty well because they listen often enough. And they're like, he calls out Miles a lot. Who's this Miles guy?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's called out. I think I heard his name 3 times on Sunday.
Sunday, he was really acting out.
I bet he was.
Yeah.
They're getting a flavor for who Miles is.
Yeah, that's fun.
Which is funny.
That's great.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So
that's good.
Going back to Sunday,
Yeah.
John 1. Question number 1 for you. This is kind of coming off of the fact that the stat, I forget the exact percentages.
43%.
Okay, 43% of evangelicals would say that Jesus is a good man, great teacher, not Son of God.
Yeah.
So how should we think about apologetically? How do we defend that in the scriptures?
So let me start with one of the, I hope I can get his name, Norm Geisler. Does that name ring a bell to you?
It does.
All right. He was a former professor of mine at Dallas Seminary in the 80s. He was probably one of the foremost apologists that we had in the evangelical world back in the day. I'm not sure if he's still alive, functioning. I don't know that. He relocated from Dallas years later. He was in Charlotte at one of the seminaries, Southern Seminary out of Charlotte, if I remember correctly. The bottom, it doesn't matter. What matters is that I remember him saying that apologetics is most helpful and most effective for people who are on the fence. That it's really not, it's not usually able to bring someone from one side to the other. That was his take on it. I appreciated the honesty of that rather than promoting apologetics as a way to
argue someone into the faith.
into the kingdom, and it's always effective if you do it correctly. I'm not an apologist type of person.
Can I add quickly?
Oh yeah, sure.
I also think apologetics, the defense of our faith, is also most helpful for people already in the faith.
In it. Yeah.
Those who are in or potentially on the fence.
Yeah.
Not, like you said, not the other side.
So I think that what you're stuck with, and I've said this to young people, high school age, the ones that were trying so hard to reach their friends. I've said this to a lot of adults as well, that this is a by faith religion. So to answer the question, I think the best thing to do is to challenge a person to read the word. I think that, and I was being honest on Sunday I don't think John's a great place to start a new convert, but one good thing about this section in John is a person is confronted immediately with, wow, this is a statement that is somehow making a connection between the word and God. I don't understand what that means, let's say, they would say, but it's pretty explicit here. So I think that I can't think of a way to argue for the deity of Christ, but I can think of a way to say to a person, the Bible presents Jesus much different from what the world thinks and what other religions think about him. So you probably should consider the biblical record, at least amidst all the other data. It's kind of where I would start, just as a starting point.
Yeah, well, that's an argument in and of itself, and a great place to start. Would you say that it's important for Christians, high school students, or those maybe doubting their faith or doubting if Jesus is the Son of God? Would you point them anywhere in particular to the scriptures? Should they go to apologetics resources?
Yeah, I mean, I would say to a person who's doubting, just go back to the beginning, not this beginning, not John in the beginning was the Word, but in the beginning, God. From Genesis. I would say go back to the Old Testament, because then you're building your foundation so that by the time you even get to Jesus, and I know it's a big read, I know that, but it's kind of has eternal significance. So by the time you get into the Old Testament, you realize who God is, what he's doing to create a people. And you also realize that redemption is absolutely critical. And so I would say, if you're struggling with your faith, just go back and reacquaint yourself with God. Start with him. He's the Father who sends the Son. So in some sense, the Son is the, the Son is prominent because of the Father's plan, something along those lines. The Son is prominent because God said, I'm going to create a world. It's going to fall, but I am going to redeem that fallen world with my Son and his Spirit. So that's what that's probably what I would do.
Yeah. I might also add, run to the church. Don't run to the world. Run to a trusted mentor, pastor.
So good.
Discipler, someone in your life.
I just think, I don't know if I said it Sunday, but I was sure thinking it, preparing for during the teaching time. I thought, it's why we come to church. We come to church and say, we are not reading the Bible like the world does. As the evangelicals continue to adopt the reading strategy of the world, the U.S. adult finding, more and more evangelicals are reading that way. We come on Sunday and we say, no, we're pushing against that. We're reading it a different way. Mm-hmm. I think it's super healthy.
Yeah. And I think it's also fair to say that it's okay to be asking questions. And I think to assume that we've got 100% of the people here in this congregation that, would, choose what we'll say is correct answer, is probably naive. So I'll extend this out there. If you're asking or questioning, don't type in, is Jesus the Son of God on Google? Don't look it up on YouTube. Come to someone you trust at church, and let's look into the Word together. We don't, and we've done this for years, but we don't ever want to shy away from questions. No. They're welcome. This is where you should turn for help. Yeah,
and one of the things you and I have talked about before too is we can't be a church that gives out a simplistic answer to difficult questions either. We have to be people who think through these issues and say, no, life is really hard. The Bible is not always clear. Mm-hmm. We read it a certain way. We are not the God of interpretation. We know that others interpret it differently. Here's the way we read it. There are certain lines that we don't want to cross because Scripture says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And so I'm going to say,
Jesus is God.
I know this Greek. I know this grammar. I am not fooled by one of those branches that says that the grammar is that who they are?
I forget exactly.
That's not, I know how this reads, and that's not the way, there's nothing to their reading. There's lines that we won't cross. One of them is, if Jesus is not God, that changes redemption, period. It changes the nature of redemption. It changes the nature of the sacrifice. Mm-hmm. There may be other ways to explain it. I get that. But biblically speaking, we read it this way, and it's critical.
Yeah. This may or may not be worth asking. So you can say no if it's going to take too long, because we want to keep this 25 minutes.
Is that the goal? Is that the goal?
It's the goal.
All right. Not Sundays, though.
Clearly not. You spoke to the whatever the religion is, whether it's Seventh-day Adventist or something else.
Yeah, I forget
could be
who
wrong.
Did that. Jehovah's Witness, maybe?
I think
it might be
right.
them.
I think you're right.
That Jesus is a God or whatever it is.
Yeah. So you just mentioned the grammar. Can you, in 60 seconds, address that if someone has the person come and knock on the door?
And you get them to the end of verse 1, the ESV, and the Word was God. If I remember correctly, they'll say, and the Word was a God instead of the God, because of the article, and they're not Greek scholars. The people coming to your door, trust me, they're not Greek scholars.
So what is the answer to that?
Doesn't matter what the article is. Nothing is solved with that grammar. That grammatical point means nothing in this paragraph. This paragraph is saying, theologically, this paragraph is filled with the divinity of Jesus. That's the point.
Yes. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is there an article there at the end of verse 1?
Not the art. Not the
definite,
specific, not that one,
or the indefinite?
Yeah, well, that would be that one.
Okay, so
there is no article. I don't have my Greek text in front of me, but I think the argument is there is no article. Okay. And so they argue that since the article is missing, it's not definitive.
It's not definitive.
Yeah, which is just, there's nothing to that.
Our ESV would actually follow and read like the Greek, and the word was God. Mm-hmm. Not a God, not the God, just the word was God. If I remember correctly. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can correct that if you're incorrect. But yeah, you're right. You don't have your
I didn't.
phone
I
today with the Greek. Okay.
Yeah, I have a real Bible though.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love them.
Me too.
So yeah, that's helpful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So some practical implications here, as I was listening back, here's 4 things that I took away, and I'd like for you to add to or strengthen or whatever.
They're probably better than I gave.
So practical implications and understanding that we are a child of God. We have been adopted into the family, which points to our salvation, which we did not earn. The adopted piece.
Yeah, he gave the right to become.
Yeah. Which response is gratitude. Thank you. Right. And then you pointed out, well, how can I be used? Like, use me as one of your children, as one of your servants in your family.
The privilege and the responsibility.
Yeah. So how would you flesh that out a little bit? Or
yeah, I think that, every Beyond Sunday we could do this with any text. Part of the response beyond gratitude for a Savior that's divine and human, which accomplishes something that only God could accomplish, we couldn't do it ourselves, is to say, Lord, I owe you my life. My life is not my own anymore. It's yours. So how have you gifted me to serve you? Every one of us, you and I, every Beyond Sunday saying, Lord, I want to be faithful to you this week. I want to be useful for the kingdom. I know, let's say, I'm working this week. I'm employed. I'm working. And I want to be faithful to represent you well at work in a variety of ways. I want to be faithful if I have a home. I want to be faithful at home. I want to love my neighbor. A couple of weeks back, your message. So those are just some things that I think everyone who says, I've been given the right to be a child of God, well, that's an amazing privilege now. Your life has changed forever. And so you owe everything, everything. Again, almost every Sunday, you might hear me or someone else say, we're going to assess the degree to which we.
Yes.
And so we assess the degree to which our response to the deity of Christ. We say we know it, we believe in it. Well, how do we respond? That's the key. We could do that,
And those aren't mind-blowing questions, to ask ourselves. That's not a lot of creative genius.
No.
Sorry to take that away from you.
No, that typifies my approach. Trust me.
That's that regular question and, asking and, both assessing and observing where you are in life, the season you're in, the location you're in, the things that God's gifted you, and say, am I being faithful? What are the opportunities in front of me? How can I serve the Lord in these places? It's not rocket science. As
it is not. And I get up this morning and immediately I'm saying some words to the Lord that I needed to say first thing in the morning. And I'm thinking about the day ahead. We had a monster day yesterday. I felt for you yesterday with the elders meeting on top of you just getting back. And I know the travel's exhausting. And, I get up this morning. I said, Lord, I want to be faithful to you today. I've got these things on my calendar. Who knows what else is going to happen? But then the thinking of, with this particular text, the practicality of, Lord, I need your divinity to shine light on my emotions, my thinking, and my deciding today. That's a day after day after day after day after day thing.
Yeah.
Lord, would you shine your light, and as I hope I said Sunday, chase away the darkness with bad emotions, bad thinking, and bad decision making.
Okay.
You know,
that's you just quoted yourself, because I wrote it down too. I
great.
wanted to ask you to flesh that out a little bit, which you just started to.
Yeah.
Are you allowing Christ's light to chase away your darkness?
Yeah.
So
I think I am. I think I want it to be better. I think, you know, at my age and stage of life, I need to stay open to that light shining into dark places. And those three categories for me, which actually came from
them again.
The emotions, the thinking, you know, the feeling, the thinking, and the deciding.
Okay.
They come from our recent Wednesday night studies, our doctrinal study of the sinfulness of sin and what the Bible says about the condition of the human heart. And so that Old Testament word for heart signifying your ability to feel, think, and decide. So that's really where this thinking came from. And so I've been asking on Wednesday nights, do you see how sin affects your emotions, your thinking, and your... So I said to a guy this past week, I really appreciate him, and we were together, and we were just talking through some of the things that's hard for us to, you know, we want to be righteous men. And I said to him, I said, do you realize that if sin is ruling your emotion, then the thoughts that follow cannot be righteous. It's just, it's like a string or what would you call it? It's like the domino effect,
right?
Where my emotions are off. They're not from God. My emotions are off. Therefore, my thoughts connected to that are off. How do I get back on track? You know, that's kind of what we were talking about, was how difficult this is. And if you track this in your own life, if you go to the far other end, which I did a couple of Wednesday nights ago, I said, well, do your decision. That was the easier one for me. I know when I make bonehead decisions.
Yeah.
Sadly, sometimes I realize it better after I've made them. That's bad. But backtrack now from that decision that you made, and just, could you do some self-assessment? What was your thinking like? I'm backing away from the decision itself, but what was my thought processes? And then back that up again and say, what was happening with what I was feeling? The connectivity of this was so, and this all, Jonathan, goes way back to another Jonathan.
Yeah.
Jonathan Edwards. So going way, way back, you know, Jonathan Edwards would say, you can't say you believe this and then do that. If you do that, you didn't believe this.
Right.
So what was happening was Edwards was saying, no, a person is a whole being. You're not schizophrenic like this. You don't divide yourself up and say, well, I believe this, but then I'm going to, no, that's not the way it is. And he was picking up on, what does it mean in the Old Testament to have a heart? It's your whole being. As one of the writers, the old English Puritans I quoted on that Wednesday, John Owen, said, it's your whole soul. So stuff like that. I don't know what more, you know, we can do with that part, but you go ahead.
So allowing Christ's light to chase away the darkness starts with, can I say faith?
Catch me in an anxious moment. Let's do the emotion, which they say hits first. Catch me in an anxious moment, and the next thing that happens to me is critical. I've got two choices. The one is to say, Father, this is me not trusting you. Please forgive me for my anxiety. I know you'll take care of me, but I'm fighting for faith. There's your word.
Yeah.
I'm fighting for faith. If I don't do that, I guarantee you my thoughts are going to be skewed from that fear.
They're going to start going down.
That anxiety is going to lead me to thinking that is destructive to my soul.
Yeah.
So something like that simple, which I think, I don't know about you, but most everybody deals with anxiety at some point, depending on the issue.
Yeah, to different degrees.
Yeah, I mean, I might be anxious about things that you like. Who cares?
Sure.
And it might be vice versa.
Exactly.
Maybe. Yeah.
For sure, that probably is.
Yeah.
What about, like, say, anger, another emotion?
I mean, you think about it. I mean, I don't know what you and I were talking about, a pastoral moment here that was happening. This happened way back in your time here, and when anger hits, I've got that same decision. what do I do with that? Do I say, God, this is justified? I mean, I have a right to be ticked off.
Mm-hmm.
Or do I say, God, this is not, the anger of man does not accomplish your will. I know that. Please deal with me. If I don't do that, my thinking is going to be, and it's not even like, I don't know if you're like this, but maybe I've got some good moments after that. Maybe that goes out of my head for a little while. I'm angry, but I function. I go mow the lawn and I'm not stewing over it, but I'll guarantee you that thought's going to come back as a result of that feeling. And that means I haven't dealt with the anger. The thought backtrack to the emotion. So there's a lot of good things you can do with this type of scenario if you're tracking your spiritual progress carefully.
Yeah. And I would encourage folks, at least for me, to stop and pray.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you sense that emotion, whatever it is, anxiety, fear, anger, lust, whatever, stop, pray.
God, I need you. I'm failing.
Yeah, exactly. And that, again, that reliance on God gives you a perspective that you didn't have prior to it.
Exactly.
And
that's where your strength is. That's where your strength is. That's where faith leads to righteousness. I'm trusting God to do for me what I cannot do myself. And so that yielding to the Spirit of God, whatever language you want to use, super helpful for growth, any kind of growth. And remember, if you're like me, you've got certain patterns. Well, if you know what the patterns are, at least you can get at them. If you don't address the patterns, then you're in this cycle, sooner or later, you're going to expect certain,
Yeah.
I know I face them. So.
Yeah, we all do. Well, that's good. That's helpful. And I think from a Beyond Sunday perspective, like this is where, the sermon, Beyond Sunday and on Sunday, needs to get here, because if you check the right answer on the survey, but don't actually believe it or don't, have it practical implications in your life, who cares?
That's why I said,
nobody cares.
That's why I said in the opening minutes, I said, with a congregation like this, a crowd like this, I'm looking at most people, they believe in the deity of Jesus. That's, the church, our church. So I know that. That's why I said the only thing left for us as a worship response is, are we responding in a way that matches the faith that we believe?
Yep.
And that's what we've been trying to deal with a little bit on Sunday, a little bit more beyond Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. Good. It's fun to be back.
Yeah. I'm glad you're back.
Happy to be back. Africa was great, but I do like some grass. Sweet corn season.
Oh my.
Senegalese food is really good though.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Like,
that's great.
It's not going to like jump Mexican or maybe some of my Asian food that I really like,
but it's not bad.
It's pretty good. Like,
Did that surprise you?
No, it didn't surprise me. I like a lot of food.
I wouldn't know what to expect.
I've had some food in countries that I'm not super fond of, but that was good. We ate well all week. It was great.
That's nice. That's a bonus.
The national dish is called chepujin. Chepujin.
I don't like the sound of that.
And did you know they eat out of bowls? That everyone eats out of the same bowl, which could gross a lot of people out. But here's what will relieve you. It's like, imagine a pizza.
Yeah.
You just kind of eat your slice.
You do yours.
I don't cross over into your area.
Man.
I just kind of eat, out of my little area, and that's how it works. But it's like a lot of grains, whether like rice or couscous kind of stuff on the bottom with some vegetables in there, a sauce, some spices, and then like a meat usually is in the middle.
Or something.
A goat. No, chepujin was a fish.
Okay, that's fish. Oh, yeah. That's not bad.
I asked Amanda what kind of fish, and she said, you probably don't want to
know that. Oh, my.
I don't know if she knew, but she
they're
just
on the
said,
coast, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, you'd think that they'd be good fish.
Yeah, I think so.
But I don't know what kind, though. It's like, ooh.
Yeah. It was good.
Moray eel or...
It could be. Anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, good to be back with you. Thanks for tuning in. We love you. Send your questions into podcast@cbcmj.com, and we'll get back after it next week. Are you going to be around next week?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Great. See you next week.
Thanks again for joining us on today's episode. And remember, our Sunday sermons are meant to lead us to a life of worship beyond Sunday.